Dee Dee. Dee Dee. Oh, hey guys, I'm bird watching. I love Dee Dee birds. You know, I found out what they are because I went on Google and I said, what is a Dee Dee bird? And I found out that a Dee Dee bird is a chickadee, and I love them. They're so cute. And they say, Dee Dee every morning. Okay, sorry. Here we are. Anyways, so I got my bullshit mother freaking glasses on today here. And I gotta watch my mouth in the beginning of the video, so... You know, YouTube is a sassy asshole. Oh, see, damn it. Oh. I need to stop. You know, I'm just sitting here doing my regular research for my video, right? And trying to figure out some ideas to discuss with you guys on the next Gypsy Rose video. Let's start off right? So welcome to or welcome back to my channel. It's me, baby girl. And what do we do here? We talk shit. And who do we talk shit about? The Gypsy Rose. Breaking news that Christy Blanchard is now the one having to take care of Gypsy Rose's new baby. Did we think that it would be anything more or less? I'm sitting here today with Krusty herself. Krusty, how does it feel now being a new mom to a newborn baby at your old age? Well, you know, I'm sick and tired of that Gypsy not wanting to take care of anything in the house, and I knew she wouldn't take care of the baby. I mean, she's a narcissist. Why would she do that? Yes, she is. Narcissists do that to their children. They just don't want to be near them. They don't really feel that empathy towards them. Back to you, Jane. That's all we needed from Krusty today. But yes, folks, that is the word on the bayou. So yeah, I mean, watch this video here of Ivy Rose Gross telling us about it. About how Christy is the one taking care of the baby.
What? Y'all, guess what? Hi, if you're new here, I'm Ivy Rose, and this is my page, Ivy Rose Grows Wild. I got some gypsy on the bayou for y'all. Now, this is for a gyp.
Stop hating on her.
You want to tell me why Krusty's on this bayou telling everybody how she's taking care of your baby? Because she's telling her friends that. Now, I know you're probably not going to believe me, Miss Jippy Jip, but listen, you don't have to.
I believe you.
At least I know I'm putting it out there, okay? Because
your
stepmommy's out here telling everybody how she's taking care of your baby at night because you're not. So you might want to put her in check. I mean, don't don't do that. Don't put her in that kind of check.
Yeah, don't do that.
Just let her know what's up. Because if you heard the shit that she's been saying, there ain't no way you would be at her fucking house. You probably would have never left Ryan. I'm telling you. Now, I have to say this in all my videos, okay? But everything I'm saying is alleged for educational, entertainment, and informational purposes only. These are my thoughts and my opinions. But all jokes aside, she really is telling people how she's taking care of your baby. And I know you only just had her, not that long ago. But it's just gonna get worse. Yeah. That's all. Have a good day. Bye.
Okay, now that we got that out of the way, you see, and did we think it would be anything more or less? No, like I said, she's a narcissist. Okay, and we're going to discuss some more stuff on that today in this video. So, sit down, buckle up, and let's talk. Because I like to do fresh videos. I like to do videos where I go and I scope out new, different ideas, new perspective, maybe, to try to, you know, freshen things up. Not always talk about the same dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I do really want to talk about, seriously here, and I'll put my, my serious face on. Okay. It's time for serious. And then I laugh. Anyways, there is a lot going on with creators against creator bullshit. I'm not down with that. I'm going to tell you that motherfucking right now. I'm not going to name any names because I don't need the drama over here. But for some reason, some of the creators are put up on a pedestal as if they're like this fucking god. And it's just, they're the same as everybody else. And I can guarantee you that a lot of their sources, I mean, you believe what you want, honestly. The egos in this Gypsy Rose fucking clan of people are really egoing lately. Off the subject of Gypsy Rose, but on the subject of all of the creators that make Gypsy Rose content. I don't understand why we have to bully each other and be hateful towards one another when we are all in the same genre, and then pointing fingers like you're a liar and you don't know what you're talking about. How the fuck do you know if someone's a liar in the first place? And why are we sitting there and shaming people for no goddamn reason? I really am pissed off about it. I'll tell you that. Because every time I go into a live, all I hear is creators talking shit about other creators, and it's fucking stupid. It's high school ass bullshit. Grow the fuck up. All of you. You know, I don't have time for that shit. Anybody comes for me and they're going to get it 2 and 3-fold. I'm telling you that right motherfucking now. I won't put up with that kind of shit. It's getting to be ridiculous. Stop talking shit about other creators. Everybody puts their time, their heartfelt effort, and everything into their videos. And whether or not you believe them, keep your mouth shut then. Scroll away. Because I am damn tired of getting in lives, and that's all I motherfucking hear is shit talking about other creators when we are all here fighting and doing the same fucking thing to bring awareness about Gypsy Rose. Why in the fuck are we deciding to fight with one another and bully one another? It's so stupid. Are we mean girls or are we content creators? And it's really annoying. It really is. And then you've got other creators that make videos specifically to tell, you know, the audience that they're all for this fucking bullshit because, you know, 2 wrongs don't make a right, okay? Now, we aren't children. We aren't in high school. Grow the fuck up. Stop sitting there pointing fingers, being jealous, and talking shit about other creators who are literally here for the same thing. I'm here to bring awareness about a fucking schmurderer who's walking around on these streets acting as if the world owes her something. That's what I'm against. I'm not sitting here fucking talking shit about other creators. Well, right now I am. But right now, I'm trying to prove a point that this is fucking dumb. All of you are acting fucking dumb. And I'm going to say that wholeheartedly with my whole chest. Knock it the fuck off. Because I tell you what, you bring that bullying shit over here, and you're not going to do it again. I promise you that. I'm ready to discuss Gypsy fucking Rose. I am not going to be here to discuss anybody else any longer. So let's get to that. I want to get to the positive part of my video over here. And the positive part is that thank you from my entire heart and soul to Shady's Baby for your Cash App donation to the channel. That really came in at the perfect time. We were like struggling really bad, and we have been. But I'm not going to sit here and try to be a charity case either. So, I mean, that's not what I'm here for either. But I really I really, from my entire heart and soul, I appreciate all of you just for, like, I don't even feel like I'm worth your view, let alone your subscribe, let alone your like or your comment, or let alone your hard-earned money that you send to me just to say thank you. It means the world. Like that video of that lady crying in the end of my last video. It's just to show you that's exactly how you guys make me feel. Like literal tears well up in my eyes every time. And it's so just incredible to me. And it helps so much right in the nick of time during struggle right now. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I will get all of my super thankses at the end of the month. So I'm happy as a clam about that. And I just love you guys so much. You guys are really like loyal, like wonderful people, and your comments are beautiful, and your ideas are beautiful, and this whole community is beautiful. That's why I try to be in the comments all the time, answering people as much as I possibly can. Like I said, sometimes the ADD kicks in and I forget what I'm doing, and then I put the phone down, and then I forget to... I'm sorry. I gotta do something, put an alarm on my phone or something to remind me to get back on there and answer comments. Because it's just like, I'm getting used to it though. I'm getting into the groove of the YouTube things. You know what I'm saying? Not used to having the comments over here. Cindy, you know. Cindy, she used to be the only one in my comments, so... And also, I want to thank Bubbles because she too cash apped me like right at the right moment. It just helped so fucking much. I feel like I owe the world to Bubbles and to Shady's Baby and anybody who's given. Bubbles is an amazing, incredible person, and that's another thing I want to bring up. Is that every video from now on, I'm going to do a member shout out where I pick a member and I put you in the video and I talk about you for a second. Today's member shout out goes to Bubbles because how could I not make her the first one after everything she's done? She's such a beautiful human being. Go give her a subscribe, even though she doesn't make videos, or, you know, just send her love in the comments or whatever. She's beautiful. She's wonderful. And the sweetest person and the bestest friend anybody could ask for, you know? Anyway, okay. And then also, we need to shout out some fire emoji people that were in the last video leaving comments, okay? And I said at the end of my video, if you stayed until the end and leave me a fire emoji, and I'm shouting you out in this video. So here we are. We've got them listed here. We have EDC Pike. I almost said Dick. I'm sorry. We have Diana Vasquez. We have Life in the Red Kim, which hi Kim. And we have Spaghetti Girl, or what? Spaghetti. I'm sorry. Steph Girl 1. Oh my God. Am I hungry? I don't know. I know that was a good one. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I just cracked myself up, I swear to God. Also, another announcement. I'm almost done with the announcements, okay? Sundays are the new live day. I don't know if I mentioned that in my last video, so I wanted to mention it in this one. And I didn't go live on Sunday because I wasn't sure if anybody even knew. Which I should just go on live because if you're already on, then you would know or you'd get the notification, I guess. I don't know. I'm sorry. So this Sunday, I'll go live for everybody. And then Wednesday nights at 6:30 is members only lives. Now, if that day if everybody doesn't like that day that's in the members group, we can choose another one. We can discuss it and figure it out from here. I just had to get that out there about other creators. I also wanted to get these announcements out there, but let's move on. This video today is just because I've been way overthinking how much I'm worried about baby Aurora. And I really am very much worried about baby Aurora. It's like when Gypsy Rose was pregnant and she's walking around pregnant. Yeah, you know, I thought, yeah, there's going to be a baby. But like, it just never seemed real. Honest to God, it just didn't seem real. But my last video was on that article from choosingtherapy.com about the signs that someone is a female narcissist, right? And we also touched a little bit on ASPD as well, which is antisocial personality disorder. If you watch that video, then it's going to give you more context to this one, where you're going to understand more of why we're discussing these subjects, but you don't have to go back and watch it if you don't want to. But if you want to feel like the wholeness of this, then go back and watch my last video on Gypsy Rose. I babble a lot, you guys. Like, I tried to record this last night, and it was over an hour long of just me fucking babbling over here, and I don't want to do that to you today. I know that you guys say that you like my, longer videos, right? Where I've seen a lot of comments that do say they do like the longer videos. So if you do, please let me know, because I want to make sure that that's just not a few people that like long videos and the rest of you are like, what the fuck? Shut up, bitch. Or do you like them? You know, I like to make the longer ones, but if you don't want to hear the long videos, I can change that too. It's all about us. Communication is key. Also, I want to just make sure that I say this. All this is alleged. This is my opinion off my own research. This is for entertainment, educational, and informational purposes only. Please do your own research and make your own opinions so that, you know, I'm not liable for none of it. You know what I'm saying? I have to say all this shit, okay? It's my thoughts and opinions. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I'm just speculating off an article that I found online. Now, son of a bitch, let's continue. Please, as always, do your own research, though. That's to be, you know, that's common sense, so you can form your own opinions. Sorry, guys. Oh, wait. They say that Dee Dee was the youngest of all the children. All of her siblings. I can't remember exactly how many she had, but this is coming from Dee Dee's own family about how she was treated as a child, and I just have some theories about that. So watch this video.
When Dee Dee was born, my mom said that she came along with all these sicknesses, heart murmur and stuff like that.
My mom would always make us go play outside, and it was like, oh, well, your sister's not feeling good. Your sister's got an upset stomach. She's got a headache. Y'all go play outside. Be quiet. Leave her alone, you know.
As she got older, Dee Dee couldn't get excited. Dee Dee couldn't jump around. She couldn't play outside. She couldn't overheat herself.
She was not allowed to assist with chores. If Dee Dee didn't want to do it, well, then she didn't have to because the heart murmur. It was used like a crutch for a long time. But Dee Dee was basically not as sick as it was to believe.
My mom smothered her. She didn't want her to grow up. She wanted to keep her young so that she would always have her to hold on to. Our bedroom was where all of us kids slept. But Dee Dee always slept with my mama. It's like she was her shadow. Always by my mama's side, always.
Yes, I get a boy.
That's your boy.
It's mine too?
Your boy and your ring.
Hi, Mama.
Oh,
How you doing, Mama? What's that, Mama?
Some green.
Some green. Green machine. Say what?
That's your ring.
We didn't get to go to college, but Dee Dee went to college. We didn't get a car when we were growing up. Dee Dee got the car.
Wow.
That's what Daddy's fixing for her to go in tonight. Dino says she needs a new one.
We knew if you wanted something, you had to go out and earn it. But Dee Dee just wanted it and got it.
Dee Dee was into beauty pageants, and my mama went out and bought her the prettiest dress, the prettiest shoes. She was just all about the attention.
When my mom passed away, Dee Dee took it hard. You know, the person who babied her all her life wasn't there anymore.
I don't get it.
Say hi.
But she still needed the attention. It didn't matter how, as long as it was coming.
See what I mean? And then she had Gypsy. Now, they say that even Dee Dee's mom was spoiled and raised in the exact same way, and also was a shoplifter and things like that. Now, being a shoplifter and that kind of a thing is a trait of someone who has or will develop NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. Now, with that being said, if you've already got the trait where you kind of have that already in your brain, or you were born with that kind of a personality trait where it will just get worse then if you're spoiled rotten, or it can develop fully just from that itself. If they say that Emma was spoiled and went on to be a shoplifter and stuff like that, she also then did the same with Dee Dee, spoiled her rotten, gave her everything she wanted. Dee Dee didn't have to do chores, things like that. All in all, that encouraged Dee Dee's own NPD to keep flourishing and keep, evolving. And then she went on to start stealing from her family, which then led to the shoplifting from stores with Gypsy Rose, in fact, which is ultimately teaching her all of this, which could be looked at as a form of grooming, if you want to think of it that way. I mean, I will say that it's possible that Gypsy Rose was groomed by her mother and her mother's antics and things she did. But that doesn't excuse any of her behavior. So don't think I'm saying that. But Dee Dee then moved on to malingering with Gypsy Rose for all of the bullshit that they got together, ultimately still teaching Gypsy Rose to be a grifter, and still giving her everything she fucking wanted. We still don't know what Gypsy Rose's true motive was for doing what she did, but we can speculate it. She was a spoiled, rotten little brat that wasn't getting her fucking way, basically. Then I found another video of Gypsy Rose sitting there talking to one of her uncles, and he claims, I thought that maybe Dee Dee was bipolar, and then Gypsy chimes in, yeah, she was diagnosed. So, yeah, let's watch this video together.
Everyone of the family keeps on telling me that they knew my mom was different. Like, by different, what did they mean when they say different?
It was like she was bipolar or something.
She actually was diagnosed with bipolar.
Oh, yeah. Look, one day, your mom was still very much a teenager. And we were on the trampoline, and we peel up and open this orange, and she picks off this one little, whatever, a little pocket, a little packet of, and so it's sitting there, and she's talking to it like it's a baby or something like that. And she's real genuine about it. And like she's going on, she's like, its name and whatever, and then how much she's gonna love it and treat it, and then she just smashes it, and then she takes off. Like, I don't know, yeah, but it was just so traumatic to me as a kid, because I was buying her a little story whenever she was saying,
Well, sometimes whenever you're a young kid like that, we hear things and we see things and things go on, and we're kind of like, we don't really pay attention to it.
I don't know why. It just seems very odd, like very out of a story. You know what I mean? I just wanted to show you guys so that you could see that Dee Dee was speculated to possibly have other issues going on, which all could have left a stamp on her that could have led to narcissistic behavior as well. And it's just me going off the actions of Dee Dee and as well as the actions of Gypsy Rose to kind of know and put two and two together on whether or not it was possible that she could have had narcissistic personality disorder. I cannot diagnose her. She's passed. Even though Gypsy Rose seems to think that you can diagnose people with Munchausen by proxy after death, I'm not going to say that it's possible to diagnose her with narcissistic personality disorder. Like I said, I'm just speculating off of the behavior that Gypsy Rose and other people have claimed that Dee Dee had. Do you understand? With that being said, though, now, if it is true, though, that Dee Dee had narcissistic personality disorder, right here is exactly how Dee Dee would have treated Gypsy Rose. By no means am I defending her, though. I'm just kind of saying, just to bring light on another part of the story, that if Gypsy Rose was raised by somebody who had narcissistic personality disorder, this is exactly how she would have felt from the treatment she would have given.
I always wanted to please my mom. I just never wanted to risk disappointing her or making her mad.
Gypsy stated that disappointing or making her mother mad would usually result in her manipulating her even more and eventually getting physically abusive as well. Gypsy always had to walk on eggshells when she was around Dee Dee.
There was a lot of manipulation tactics going on to where I felt like if I did something that she didn't like, she would take away her love.
Dee Dee would often tell Gypsy that she was the only one who truly loved and cared for her. She told Gypsy she wouldn't ever find true love. Dee Dee made Gypsy so dependent on her, and Gypsy says she's worked hard while in prison to try and change and undo the mental damage her mother had done to her. She is now out, and says it's still something she has to work hard at, but she's happy and optimistic. She even hopes to start a family of her own in the future.
Right. But I'm just overthinking over here. Like, my thoughts always turn into a video. So, you know, I'm sorry that you guys are subject to listening to me rant about something that just popped in my head one day. But it is said that Gypsy Rose was spoiled fucking rotten, even by the Petrie family and everything. She got everything she wanted at all times. But the one thing that Gypsy didn't get that she really wanted was her dad. And now she's got him, but she made sure of that. Dee Dee was the youngest and was her mother's golden child, though. And Dee Dee was seeing her brothers and sisters doing all the chores all the time, everything else. She was being given whatever she desired. This creates an ego, which then only grows and grows and grows. You know what I mean? And evolves and just forms into this narcissist, like, egotistical, like, full of himself, you know, or full of herself. And basically, Dee Dee wanted to have a relationship with Gypsy in the same way that she had with her mother. Now, mind you, think about this too. Dee Dee, now this is just alleged, but Dee Dee apparently was very close with her mother Emma for a long time. And then all of a sudden, as Dee Dee started to get into her teenage years, she too started to grow an attitude problem, and she too took it upon herself to they say, now this is just speculation, that she tried to unalive her mother by poisoning her, and had also done the same thing to her stepmother Laura. So that's just speculation, though. I'm not sure if that's even true, because, you know, she's not here to tell us if it is. But that's crazy. That is some fucking unchanged shit. And just goes to show you how tempers, how personality traits, and all of that can be passed down to our children. Oh, let's watch this Lauren Cherie video and kind of get to know Dee Dee on not the level of where we're talking about all the bad stuff. Let's see Dee Dee in this perspective. So this video is Dee Dee as a child. Claudine Petrie was born in Chicopee, Louisiana on May 3rd, 1967 to Claude and Emma Petrie. She was primarily French-Canadian. Nicknamed Dee Dee, she grew up with her family in nearby Golden Meadow. Relatives say that Dee Dee used to steal from her family. They later speculated it was from a retaliation for things that for throwing a tantrum. Dee Dee was very close to her mother. Anything she wanted, she got. At some point, she did work as a nurse aide, so that's what this is talking about. And then shortly after Gypsy's birth in July 1991, the couple separated. Rod said he just got married for the wrong reasons. They named their daughter Gypsy Rose because Dee Dee liked the name Gypsy, and he was a fan of Guns N' Roses. When he refused to return, Dee Dee took her newborn and moved in with her family. According to Rod Blanchard, by the time Gypsy was 3 months old, Dee Dee had something. Oh, shoot. And so it begun. And that's that. You know, there's sometimes people with narcissistic personality disorder, it can develop in some people. Like I said, it can be a trait that you're already born with, or it can be developed in some people. And this video here explains that exactly.
Do you know there's 2 different ways someone can become highly narcissistic? They'll talk about narcissistic abusers. I always get, well, it's because of their childhood trauma. Sometimes, but not always. Spoiling, and enabling can also create abusive personalities. This is how an incredibly entitled person is made. And as we know, abusers don't have an anger problem. They have an entitlement problem. They feel entitled to treat you however they choose, and then they blame it on you.
Spot on, very important subject. Most people believe that NPD is only the result of childhood trauma, but it can also be because of overindulgence in childhood. And the key here is not so much about the child being spoiled, it's about being bailed out of facing any consequence. So naturally, they never learn about accountability, and they develop the belief that they are entitled to have what they want when they want it. While they became narcissistic for different reasons, here's the thing they have in common. Both had a lack of emotional nurturing in their upbringing. While it is obvious that a home where there's abuse, neglect, and harm doesn't have appropriate emotional nurturing, overindulging your child doesn't mean they are being nurtured. And Lee has talked about this very thing, that narcissistic parents do not have the emotional maturity to know how to nurture their children, so it shows up in physical ways, like gift giving. And when their child does something wrong, they don't want to have to listen to their feelings about what happened. They don't want to have to deal with the consequences. And if they're financially able to make it go away, that is more comfortable for that parent than having to deal with the emotional side of teaching their child how to be accountable. And we know that NPD is a shame-based personality disorder. And what we know about shame is I am bad, not I did something bad, which is guilt. And as I said before, I've been in a relationship with a narcissist that's due to overindulgence. And the shame that he carried around, never feeling good enough to receive their love, they were highly critical of everything he did. It was never good enough. And even though they would give him everything and they'd bail him out, they never wasted a second to remind him that he was not enough, that he was an idiot, and that he could have done more. Imagine the confusion. I can get whatever I want from my parents if it costs money, but I can't receive their love. The dissonance that would cause would be intense. So yes, NPD can absolutely be the result of childhood trauma, but it can also be the result of overindulgence in childhood. But the thing that they have in common is a lack of emotional nurturing from those caretakers, because they themselves are emotionally immature and do not know how to provide that to their child. But either way, they become entitled, and they believe that they should have whatever they want when they want it, and that it is everybody else's fault, and they never learn to face accountability.
Gypsy Rose, obviously, like I said, got everything she ever wanted. I mean, you saw the video of Gypsy's aunts and uncles talking about how Dee Dee was always given what she wanted too. There's this article explaining about the whole situation with Emma and Dee Dee trying to poison her as well. I want you to take a look at this. Pause to read if you need to. Yeah, they say that Dee Dee would throw literal tantrums when she didn't get her way. And all of this just shows, like I said, that these traits obviously were passed down. But the point that I'm trying to get at is, what if these traits are now going to be passed down to Aurora herself? Who's going to break the fucking cycle? Are we going to have another narcissistic female on our hands with Aurora? And is she going to try to do the same thing to Gypsy that Dee Dee did to Emma and that Gypsy did to Dee Dee? Are we going to have just this cycle of murdering going on of mothers? Oh, how terrible. This next video is a video of how narcissistic mothers affect their children. I mean, how do you think they affect them? I mean, you end up with a Gypsy fucking Rose. But actually, in reality, narcissistic mothers always pick a golden child. Now, if you notice, Emma picked Dee Dee as her golden child. And that was the one that she was going to spoil rotten and give everything to, while the others just basically were spectators. And so now Dee Dee didn't have any other children to make her golden child, so Gypsy was automatically that, right? And we're going to watch this video about how narcissistic mothers affect all children as a whole, even the golden child.
Is co-parenting with a narcissist destroying your children's well-being? Do not turn a blind eye to the 7 ways that it's damaging their mental and emotional health. Watch until the end because I'm also going to share how kids are impacted by these 7 things. And then obviously, most importantly, what you can do to actually help your kids. So number 1, it's a lack of empathy. Narcissistic parents struggle to empathize with their children's emotions and experiences, and they may dismiss or minimize their feelings. Number 2, they are controlling. They try to micromanage their children's lives. They use guilt and manipulation to get their children to do what they want. Now, number 3, their parenting is completely inconsistent. Sometimes they lavish their children with attention and praise, and other times they straight up neglect or criticize them. Number 4, grandiosity. Narcissists have this inflated sense of self-importance and typically view their children as extensions of themselves and not as individuals with their own needs and their own desires. Number 5, emotional abuse. They use tactics like gaslighting or belittling or withholding affection as a means of control. Number 6 is neglect. They're sometimes, but not always, neglectful of their children's basic needs like food and medical care. They're almost always neglectful of their children's emotional needs. And lastly, 7, enmeshment. Now, enmeshment refers to a family dynamic where family members are overly involved and intertwined with each other to the point where their individual boundaries are blurred or non-existent. The narcissistic parent will expect the children to fulfill their emotional needs and sometimes treat them more like partners than children. Children who experience this kind of parenting grow up with low self-esteem, difficulty regulating emotions, trust issues, insecurity, anxiety, and codependency. Not all children who experience emotional abuse will develop these traits. Everyone's experience is unique. It is possible for a child raised by a narcissist to develop narcissistic traits, but it's not inevitable or guaranteed. Children of narcissistic parents may internalize some of their parents' behaviors and attitudes, particularly if they were consistently exposed to these behaviors and attitudes throughout their upbringing. And this can lead to the development of narcissistic traits, but it's not a certainty. There's other factors like genetics, environment, and personal experiences that can also play a role in shaping someone's personality. I'm hosting a webinar. It's called Emotionally Bulletproof Kids, How to Raise Strong and Confident Kids Amongst Chaos. And I'm going to have a panel of experts, including psychologists and therapists, teaching you exactly how you can help your kids, no matter their age. You can sign up to join the webinar in the link in my bio. So comment what questions you might have for the panel.
Stronger than before.
And it's a wild situation, and I worry so much about baby Aurora. And it tells us how Dee Dee and Gypsy were affected by the narcissism passed down to them too. And it makes me wonder so much about everything being passed down to Aurora. Hopefully, Ken's traits kind of counteract the traits that Gypsy Rose passes down, but who knows? The cycle won't get broken until Gypsy realizes and admits that she has this issue, which I don't believe would ever happen. But Gypsy and Krusty have already stated that they're going to spoil Aurora rotten. So basically, we are going to have another situation of a young girl trying to unalive her mama. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I really hope not. Son of a bitch. I often wonder too, are narcissists capable of loving their children even? Like, are they capable of real unconditional love? You know? Also, I'm wondering, I want to get your guys' opinion on this guy's video. But this guy says that basically a child needs to go through the struggle in order to appreciate the award and the outcome of what they've done. And that I believe to be true. I really do. Because I believe that Gypsy and Dee Dee and, you know, Krusty, well, not Dee Dee, because Dee Dee's not here. Rest in peace. But Gypsy and Krusty are ultimately just going to take Aurora like they did with Gypsy and like was done with Dee Dee and just take her straight to the award without having to go through any of the struggle that led to it. You know what I'm saying? Which doesn't give the same gratitude, you know? So let me know what you guys think about his video and what he's saying.
If you're experiencing narcissistic traits in your child, this is a video for you. Well, Well, you have to understand this before you can move forward. Somewhere back in the 1960s, there was research done by psychologists on successful people. So they wanted to pinpoint what made them successful in society, their life, their family, everything in general. And they pinpointed it to self-esteem. Their goal was to increase the self-esteem in children. And it has been a colossal failure. This is where we got that everybody gets a trophy and nobody gets a bad grade. What they failed to recognize was how these people actually got self-esteem. This has left our children with this big open crater of emptiness, and they've developed narcissistic traits to cover that up. They failed to realize that you need to celebrate the process your child went through in order to accomplish something. You need to celebrate their struggle with them and celebrate the accomplishment.
And here's a video on narcissistic mothers themselves, okay? Because I want you guys to think about Dee Dee. I want you guys to think about Gypsy Rose and while watching this. And kind of then think about how Dee Dee was as a person based off of what we've heard, you know. And ultimately how Gypsy was affected and also how Dee Dee was affected as well. Kind of trying to think more in depth and more in the shoes of the other person. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it helps me understand someone if I try to step in their shoes, even though trying to put myself in Gypsy Rose's shoes is one of the hardest fucking things. But I just hope that I'm making sense throughout this video. Do you understand what I'm trying to get at over here? I don't know. I hope you do. Son of a bitch.
Supply, I want to talk to you about narcissistic mothers and the 6 traits that they express in the dynamics of a relationship with their child. Number 1 is that conditional love, because this mother, remember, a narcissistic mother, it's all transactional. She doesn't know how to show unconditional love. So she's going to have this one child that she's going to give conditional love to because that child is basically a little mini-me that she's raising. It's going to be like an extension of her narcissistic self. So as that child is giving her that narcissistic supply by living up to her expectations, she's happy with them and she's giving them that conditional love, which is just, you know, it's purely superficial. This child is going to grow up to have no boundaries. They're going to learn entitlement. They're going to learn how to model that narcissism from the mother, and typically will grow up to be a little narcissist. And the other children or child are going to be her scapegoats, kids that are not growing up to be to her expectations. So these kids are also going to be very traumatized because they're always going to be confused. Why are we not getting that love and attention? Why is one child being treated this way and we're being treated a different way? So they're never going to feel good enough. The scapegoats is the term for this. The second here is that this mother is going to be very self-absorbed, very selfish. Remember, it's all about her, never about anyone else. So whenever the kids are going to come to her with the problems, she's going to twist it around somehow and make it all about herself. Number 3 is that you as a child with this kind of mother are going to grow up to be shamed for emotions, for vulnerability, because again, we're dealing with a narcissist here who is not capable of empathy. She's not capable of emotions. So she's going to make you feel shamed for feeling that, for wanting to express that, and you're going to end up suppressing those emotions. Number 4 is that she's never going to validate what you think or what you feel. She's going to gaslight you, telling you you don't actually feel a certain way, you know, or you'll come to your mom and you'll say, Mom, I don't think I want this for dinner, and she's going to say, of course you do. It's always going to be your reality being distorted by her. Complete gaslighting. Number 5 is when you actually don't agree with what she wants you to be, and when you try to decide to be your own self, she's going to punish you for it, okay? And her punishment is going to be just like the typical punishment in any relationship. She's going to gaslight you, she's going to manipulate you, silent treatment, passive aggressiveness, and most importantly, I think it's that withholding of affection, okay? She's going to withhold the hugs and kisses, the conditional love that a mother should never do, right? So you're going to feel like you're not deserving of her love. And of course, she will guilt trip you, okay? Maybe you'll hear something like this from your mother. After all that I've done for you, after all this work I've put into you, after all this time, you go ahead and do this to me. And number 6 is that she's going to shame you for wanting to be your true, authentic self. Because in this woman's eyes, you're only allowed to be whoever she thinks is good enough from a society perspective, okay? So whatever she views as this ideal human being in society, whatever is acceptable to her, that's the only person you're allowed to grow up to be. So the second that you decide to be your own true self, she's gonna shame you for it.
Wow.
Now, I know a lot of you guys are suffering from this narcissistic abuse from your parent, from your mother, and I want to remind you that at any age, the first step to healing here is accepting who your mother is. It's the radical acceptance that your mother is not going to change. She's broken, and she gave you as much as she could. She's not capable of carving out that emotional intimacy for you. She did her best, and for a narcissist, that's their best. She broke you, but in her eyes, it's her best. So what are you going to have to do now? You're going to have to undo that trauma. You're going to have to learn how to self-parent. And basically, you'll have to learn how to give yourself the stuff that your mother was unable to give you. Because again, narcissistic people are only capable of giving so much. I will be putting out much more detailed content on this topic on my YouTube channel, a link to which you can find in my bio.
Check it out if you want.
And of course, I hope this information was helpful.
I was actually reading an article on choosingtherapy.com once again about narcissistic mothers. And it's crazy, but on the list that they have of the signs of a narcissistic mother, one of them is number 4 is Munchausen by proxy. I was like, wait, what? So I started reading it. I'll post it up here. It says here that she may manipulate you into feigning illness. Narcissistic mothers may also show signs of Munchausen by proxy syndrome. This is a mental illness in which a parent encourages a child to show symptoms of physical illness to warrant visits to the doctors, emergency rooms, and specialists. A narcissistic mother can meet her needs for attention and concern by medical professionals tending to her child. Munchausen can lead to emotional and physical costs to the child, while the mother feeds on the invested interest of others on her child's well-being. I know that Dee Dee didn't have Munchausen by proxy, but I was shocked to read this in there. But it doesn't quite add in there, though, that one of the main things about Munchausen by proxy is that they do it just for the attention, not for monetary gain. That is malingering. So I want to make sure that that's always clear. I just want to see what Gypsy can expect now if she spoils Aurora rotten and aids in her developing signs of narcissism or narcissistic personality disorder. Because ultimately, I know that Gypsy's a narcissist herself and is even showing signs of it already by, not taking care of her baby like she should be and leaving it up to Krusty. Children with NPD are a whole nother story, and Gypsy's going to be in for it if she doesn't become accountable and understand that it needs to be addressed early on, or there's going to be major fucking problems. Obviously, Dee Dee didn't get the help she needed, and look what she did, and then the same thing with Gypsy. And she's going to now use Aurora as a pawn, because of the attention and everything. And as much as Gypsy resents her own mother, I bet you any money she's going to raise and do the same exact things that Dee Dee did. She's a product of her mother, regardless if she wants to believe so or not. Dee Dee didn't deserve the death that she got. She didn't deserve to be taken out in the way that she was. And I am also going to bring this up where I'm sick and motherfucking tired of seeing people on this app, of not YouTube, but on TikTok, making videos saying that Dee Dee didn't deserve a vigil. I'm sorry, but Dee Dee was still a motherfucking human being. I don't care if she was a narcissist. I don't care if she, and that's alleged, and I don't care if she grifted and if she malingered and got all those things. It doesn't mean that she should have been stabbed to death 17 times by her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend at the time, because her daughter was a spoiled, rotten brat and didn't get her way. I don't think that that's fair at all. And I believe that since just solely because she was a human being that didn't deserve to die, she deserves a vigil. I don't care what her past has in it. How dare you people? I don't understand that. Well, if you're a human being and you were unalived in a horrible way, then you deserve to have a memorial and a vigil. Like, you people are evil, and you call Gypsy evil. Not you guys, but you know what I'm saying. And it's not even because these people claim that that Dee Dee abused Gypsy. They know she didn't abuse Gypsy. They're literally in these videos saying that Dee Dee deserved to die because she malingered and, committed fraud and stuff like that, which granted, yes, she did. Maybe she deserved prison, but she did not deserve to get stabbed 17 times and be unalived in the manner that she was unalived. No, she did not. And for you people to sit there and act like she deserved that and doesn't deserve a memorial, then you're sick. You're just as sick as Gypsy Rose. I also, I wonder too about how the dynamic will be between Gypsy Rose and Aurora as Aurora grows up, especially if she turns out to be narcissistic like Gypsy, or also if she doesn't turn out to be narcissistic like Gypsy. Like, what if Gypsy ends up with this really empathetic child?
Is your child a narcissist? These are some traits to be aware of. Believing they are better than other kids. Difficulty making friends and maintaining them. See getting attention as their right of need to be center of attention. Withdrawal from other people who do not give attention or admiration. Not expressing gratitude to parents or others for being kind. Excluding other children based on superficial characteristics, such as the other child being not as financially stable, having a lower social status, putting other children down for not performing as well as them, not taking responsibility for their actions and the consequences, bragging about what they have, throwing temper tantrums when criticized, resentment at being told what to do. This can be a normal part of development and the child may grow out of it. But if the child is in a toxic environment, the greater the chance of them being a narcissist. These toxic traits will carry on into adulthood, which becomes a problem if the narcissistic parent enables this behavior. It's likely to damage your relationship with your child. You will struggle to be around them. Eventually, you will have to decide on the kind of relationship you have with your child. Might be that you go no contact, or you have a very limited boundaried relationship. If your child is showing these signs, get them into therapy. Take them away from the toxic environment and teach them empathy. There might still be hope.
Like my baby nieces. Oh my gosh, my baby niece is so sweet. She is just so incredibly sweet. This girl is so empathetic. Just, worries about everybody. Everybody. One day, I'm just off subject here. We were going for a walk, you guys, and I just got to tell you the story. Her and I were going for a walk, and she knows that I have issues with my body pain because of medical conditions and stuff. And so we were walking, and she knows that I was doing the walk for her, right? Normally going for a long walk is very painful for me after a while. And so she knew when we were taking the walk that I was doing it for her, right? And I didn't say that. I didn't make a point to point that out or anything. She just knew that in her own mind. And all of a sudden she turns around and she's like, Auntie Rose, if you want to sit down on a bench, there's one right there in those people's yard. And I'm like, I don't think that's for me to go sit on. Those people might be mad if I just go sit down on the bench in the middle of their yard. But it was so sweet. I had to tell you guys that. But that's the difference between a narcissistic child that's going to be hateful towards you and an empathetic child. Now, what if Gypsy had a very empathetic child? She's a huge narcissist herself. Maybe it would teach her something. Maybe it would help her. Or she'd just resent Aurora because Aurora would be getting attention for being the sweet little girl she is, and Gypsy would take mad offense to that and be completely jealous and probably unalive her own child at that point. But that's another thing that I worry about, you guys. Not only is Gypsy a convicted murderer, but she's a murderer of her own mother. It's not like she unalived some random person. Not that that's okay, but she unalived her own mother. And then also got beat up. I'm trying to find the TikTok about that. Got beat up in prison at chow time when she sat there defending a woman that had tried to or did actually, I can't remember which, unalive her own child because she didn't want it. And Gypsy was laughing and joking about it and talking about it as if that was something that was okay. And now this person that did that and unalived her own mother and is a narcissist has her own fucking baby to take care of. That's why I'm so worried, you guys. And that's why I'm doing this video. They say that parenting with a narcissist is also hard, so Ken's got a lot to look forward to.
I want to talk with you about co-parenting with a narcissist. This is one of the most challenging things that you could possibly do in this life, is learning to co-parent with a toxic, narcissistic, abusive person. Now, in this message, I want to talk with you about the perspective that the narcissist has in the situation, and then we're going to talk about the perspective of the children or of the child. And then finally, I want to talk about the perspective that you should have if you want to nurture and nourish a healthy relationship with your children. First of all, let's talk about the narcissist perspective. Now, we know that toxic narcissists are in it to win it. And so they're going to throw everything at this game that they're playing with you. If you're going through a separation or a divorce, they're going to fight you tooth and nail for custody. They're going to fight you over how much money they should pay for child support or shouldn't pay for child support, rather. They're going to fight you on who has the better family or the bigger family or is more capable of raising and guiding the children. And in the process, they will demean you and devalue you and try to cut you down and make you feel like you are not a good parent or an adequate parent. Point out all of your flaws and really criticize you and really make a case against you. Now, you want to know the saddest part about all of this from the narcissist perspective is that nothing that they are doing is out of a genuine care or concern for the child. None of it is genuinely because they want what's best for the child. The only reason the narcissist is fighting you so hard and making this big scene and causing all this ruckus and creating all these issues is so that they simply do not lose. They are in competition mode, and the competition is against you. Narcissists cannot stand to think that they are not the best parent in the situation, because that's what narcissism is. They have to be the best in each and every and all situations. So their game they're playing is with you, and unfortunately, the child is a pawn in their game. Now, it's important for you to understand this principle, and you have to get this, because this is going to help you to understand the child's perspective, which we're going to talk about next. And it's also going to help you to understand better what your perspective should be. Now then, moving on to the child's perspective. Now, you may see the child react to the toxic narcissistic parent, oftentimes in a way that looks like it's favoring the toxic parent. Maybe a narcissistic co-parent will grab the child and say, "Come with me, we're leaving your mom, she's toxic," and blah, blah, blah. Or, "Come on, we're leaving your dad," and you would leave him alone, and as she calls you names or whatever. Right? Dragging the child, and the child's going to go. But the child doesn't understand. The child's simply responding, saying, "That's my mom, my dad, they want me to go." That's all that is.
It could have been very well why Dee Dee and Rod had a lot of problems with their co-parenting. You know, I don't believe that Rod really wanted to be there very much, but maybe it was a lot to do with Dee Dee having the issues she had with Rod, because to be honest, Rod fucking just up and left her. Whether anybody wants to believe so or not, she had the microdeletion. She was a sick child. She was in and out of the hospital for treatments on that. He just walks out on her like it's no big deal, so he can't get mad if Ken walks out on Gypsy. Gypsy, though, she didn't show her ass too hard, though, when she was divorcing Ryan. I believe all she ever wanted was to just have Ryan there for her to get out of prison. I don't believe that she ever had any real feelings for him. She's pushing him to move on because it's like, okay, I already used you. I'm done with you. Move on, go away. But she does try to keep these guys on the back burner, though, too, the way that I found some old prison letters between her and Nick Godejohn, and she always tried to keep him in the background for whatever fucking reason. And it's just, she always wants to make sure that she has some kind of dick in her life, whether it's in prison or not. Holy shit. And now she's got Ken. Supposedly they broke up according to some creators. Also, Do you think he left her? I mean, I think that with the narcissistic way she is, she would be fucking having a fit about that. And she wouldn't even care about no contract with fucking Lifetime. She would be fucking showing her ass big time if Ken really did leave her, I do believe. But if Gypsy is truly in therapy, though, like she says, then I would think that her therapist has already made her aware of her own narcissism, I would hope. I mean, hopefully they're not just like all, kissing her ass and telling her what she wants to hear, but I hope and pray that everyone has started their year off great, though. I can't talk about this shit no more. It's just so much. Gypsy Rose, get your shit together. Take care of your own motherfucking baby. Just to summarize this video up and give conclusion, content creators, grow the fuck up and stop fucking talking shit about each other. Stop this fucking bullying bullshit. And don't you dare bring it over here. Don't you even try. I swear on God. Also, remember to become a member. It's only $1.99. You get all of the perks for $1.99. Don't worry about the other things. I don't know how to get them off there. But it's just $1.99. You get Wednesday nights, members only lives. You get to see the videos for the first 24 hours before everybody else. Member shout outs at the end of my videos. And, also the colored check marks and the special emojis. I think it's a good deal. I'm just saying, I think it's a wonderful deal. And, you buy your membership helps me get treats and dog food and all the things. And put it back into my channel and all the things and make lights and stuff. And jam and music to play and editing and all of it. It helps so much. I put a lot into my channel. So I'm very, very grateful for those of you that give back and are so wonderful about it. I just love you for it. Thank you so much. But I hope this video made some sense to you. I hope you understand why I made this video and why I'm so worried about baby Aurora. But anyways, have a wonderful day, you guys. I got to get out of here. I had enough. I love you.